This session will look at SUIM. This is the reports which are used for security. So as you can see, SUIM transaction is the most powerful transaction when it comes to security reporting. Now let's look at the user tab. So the user drill down has the most commonly used report in user drill down is users by complex selection criteria. So you drill down on that and select users by complex selection criteria. When will this report be used? So I want to look at all users whose user ID start with user star, and I say execute, and it will give me all the users available. And this I can download it with file F9 and I can save it on my desktop. It gives me all the user types, whether it's a dialog user, whether it's the user is logged or unlocked state, what are the validity dates for the user account, and which user group does the user belong to. So sometimes you might want to find out all the users assigned to a particular role. So in that case, what you can do is I want to find out all users who are assigned to a Z role called there is no Z role. Good for us. Okay, so there are no rules at all. Let's run this query another way. Find out all the users who are assigned to profile SAP all. So profile was the older method compared to roles. And let's see. And it's giving a number of users which are assigned to this particular profile. But now it's also showing me logged users, and I don't want to look at the logged accounts. So I can go back and scroll down at the bottom and enable this option which says unlocked users only. And if I rerun this report, now I get 283 users which are valid today, and they are not logged, and they have that profile assigned. So you can give I showed you two methods, but you can use this report with various options. You can also say show me users who have a particular object assigned to them. So that's another option. That's user by complex selection criteria. Similarly, we have roles by complex selection criteria. So sometimes you are digging for information on users, sometimes you are digging for information on roles. So let us say show me all the roles which are assigned to users. So if I run this, okay, there are 534 roles and which are assigned to users. Okay, here they are, all the ZB roles. So we can double click on each of them and we can go to the user tab for the role, and we can look at the user ID. So that is roles by complex selection criteria. And you can again use various option in this. You can search by role starting with a particular name. You can do with assignment of a couple of users or a single user. You can also find all the roles which contain a particular transaction or a particular authorization object. So there are unlimited possibilities, but that's user by complex selection criteria and roles by complex selection criteria. Same goes for profiles. You can also do profiles by complex selection criteria. Authorization, so that also authorization by complex selection criteria. Um, show me Z objects. So let's see if there are Z objects, and as you can see there are multiple Z objects which are created. So you can get a list of custom objects just by giving Z star in this particular report. That's how you got authorizations by complex selection criteria. We can also go to authorization objects by complex selection criteria and transactions, executable transactions for all selection options. So why would I be interested in this? I want to see all the transactions to which a particular user is authorized. So in that case, I will just enter the user ID and execute, and I'll get the transactions for that particular user. As this is my particular user ID and I have assignment to SAP all, which is all the transactions. That's why this particular report is going slow. So it's showing that I have access to 106,000 transactions. And you can run the report for various parameters. Comparison is used to compare users across the system. So I can compare using this particular report user in development system to user in production system. But before I do that, I will need to set up a remote function RFC in SM59, which I can use, because the moment I say across system, it's going to prompt me for RFC. So that needs to be set up, and then you can check for, you can compare user A and user B in different systems, and it will give you their role comparison, their profile comparison, their authorization comparison. You can also look at change documents. This is very useful if a user says, so a user comes to you and says that something changed in my access and I cannot use a particular transaction, or I'm getting error in reports. So what you can do is you can look up his history for last 1 or 3 months, and you can show him the proof that nothing has been changed, and if something has changed, then you can let him know what caused the change. So that's SUIM in nutshell for you, and this is very, very powerful reporting from basis and security perspective.